Welcome back, you VZ.58 fans. Getting back to modifying up a little bit and catching up on the VZ.58. I know there was a couple items, issues that I wanted to finish up with the gun. The first one is the cylinder port. I know it's running a full-size cylinder on a 208mm barrel, so I figured some of my inconsistencies is being caused by the BB leaving the barrel a little bit too early. So what I'm going to do is replace to a 3/4 cylinder port. Not sure what kind of cylinder head it uses necessarily. This is a M14 version 7 cylinder head, but I know ARES has made several other types of cylinder heads, so this one was just the cheaper of the brand. It's a Matrix I think it's a Matrix SHS M14 EBR cylinder head. So we'll try that, see if it'll fit. If not, I know ARES make a couple other ones, so when I get time I'll try and update you what that particular cylinder head's supposed to be. Got a SHS 18:1 gears because I know I ran out of the 18:1s and it was a little bit tough for me to get for a while, but now they're back in stock. So I'm gonna replace the the spur and bevel gear. So reinforce that because I always know that the spur gear has been the weak spot of the EFCS gearbox types. I bought an M90 spring, so I don't know where the cylinder port's going to take me on the FPS level, but we're going to just have to try and see. So I have a feeling it's going to be between an M90 and M100 spring. So let's get to it and see
Alright,
how it
so
goes.
Going in deeper with the gun, couple of things. As you've seen in my video, if you remember, I put an O-ring in back of the air nozzle, but unfortunately, like I suspected, it came off, so that's what was probably most likely causing my real inconsistency of 10 to 15 FPS. So it was shooting about probably like 349 to 366, or the variation was always like about 10 FPS. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna remove the spacers on this gun because it's not really gonna help me a lot if I'm gonna get an inconsistent FPS. And also I figured that retro arms will probably most likely make an air nozzle with an O-ring in there, so pretty much, like I said, I'm going to take off the hop-up spacer and the O-ring seal for the air nozzle. It'll probably drop my FPS about a good 10 or maybe even 15, so like I said, it should bring me down to CQB levels, so I should be okay. So I'll toss out the O-rings for that. So pretty much I'm going to be running almost a stock setup, but also looking at the M14, would an M14 cylinder head fit? No, because it's slightly different. Probably gonna have to look for a new cylinder head. It's most likely an ARES, one of maybe the machine gun cylinder heads, or an SA80, but hard to tell. Just gonna have to buy a couple and see what they are. Looking from comparing the cylinder heads, I could see that the M14 Air, the nozzle is about a couple millimeters lower, and also the nozzle extends out probably another couple meters too. So definitely can't use an M14 cylinder head. And I was gonna originally put in a porting, but since I'm gonna be using pretty much the stock air nozzle, I figure I don't need to port anymore since I'm going to be losing a lot of air through the nozzle. So like I said, I suspect I'll probably drop down 340. So what we're going to do is replace the spur gear and the bevel gear to an SHS. Right, so what I did, just recapping, I took off the seals, the O-ring seals, because like I said, I could see that obviously it was going to peel off with all the motions with the air nozzle moving back and forth. And plus, given that retro arms looks like they're putting a lot of CNC support with the gun, like I said, I have no doubt that you're going to find a CNC with an O-ring in there. So I took that out. I left the original gasket seal that I did for the port here. So I figure, cylinder. I figured that even a stock gun would probably shoot about 320 FPS. This one probably would shoot around the 340s, I suspect. Originally I was going to change the spring, but I'm going to keep the stock spring since I'm not going to change out to a 3/4 port. Changed out to an SHS spur gear and bevel gear, so that will definitely strengthen it up. I'm going to put the gearbox together. Then what I'm going to do is put a Dean's here. Then I figure wrap it up and go play some CQB with it with the M4 adapter. Alright, so we're going to test the VZ.58 on 20-gram BBs. Now this doesn't have the O-ring seal, so expect FPS to be a little bit lower. 349.3, 351.5, 346.5, 348.6, 354.2. So varying about less than 10 FPS, and more like now it's almost like 8 or less. So which is good. Of course, like I said, taking out those seals, it was going to bring down my FPS, which I like. So now it's CQB legal. Let's try the rate of fire. It's a full charge battery, so let's see how fast it shoots. Okay, as I expected, shooting at 20.5 RPS at 350.9 FPS. So pretty happy where this gun's at. Definitely now it's CQB. Alright, so my final thoughts for this episode. To recap, like I said, I took out the O-ring seal and the O-ring spacer because I figured that I'll be bringing this gun to a CQB level. So I left the original gasket seal onto the cylinder and cylinder head. The gun originally shot stock about 330 FPS, so sealing up that cylinder gave me an extra 20, so I'm barely CQB legal with this gun. So I'm pretty happy now I could bring it out to my local indoor field. And also got to try out with the deaned up the connector, so definitely it's shooting 20.5 RPS, so plenty enough for CQB. And for you guys' purposes, this is just demonstration, just the updates that I've been doing with the VZ.58. So been pretty happy with it, and got that, like I said, the M4 mag adapter. So definitely time for you guys to have fun now.